I'm unmarried and pregnant, and my partner refuses to acknowledge paternity. Will I be able to file a case for child support? The answer is yes, but there are a few requirements or steps that you need to keep in mind in order to be able to file a case for child support, because ultimately you need to establish paternity. Now, so that's step one, is to establish paternity. Step two is file child support. So step one, now in the UAE, as of a few years ago, the laws have changed, so it's no longer illegal to be pregnant and unmarried, nor do you necessarily need to have a partner if you could have a baby through IVF, but you do need to explain to the courts if you are giving birth. You need to put on sort of the documents, whether who the father is, if the father is unknown, or but that's the father must be unknown. So if you know who the father is and you actually want the father to be present, then you would need to ultimately request for the court to do a paternity test. Now, so that step exists, and that exists in sort of as per several laws that recently have been updated. So, however, the court will not going to just order a paternity test from just any kind of random person. So you need to be able to present to the court, as part of your request, some sort of proof that there's a good likelihood or good evidence that this particular person, uh, I guess, should be the subject of the paternity test because you had a relationship. So I guess photos together, maybe correspondence. If you have any bank accounts together, you live in the property together, whatever it may be. So basically, the court will need to see proof that you had a relationship with this person, and therefore there's a very good likelihood that this particular person can be the subject of the paternity test. So if you have if you have that, make sure you've got all those documents. You have to legally translate them, and then you file a request to the court for paternity test, attaching these documents and requesting the court to order him to appear in court and to ultimately agree to paternity test. And once that happens, I think if he doesn't come forward, then there are other repercussions you can seek against him through the courts for violating the orders of the court. But ultimately, once he comes forward, if obviously the paternity test is performed, then and he's established as the father, then on the basis of that, you'll have to file a separate case for child support on the basis of that paternity test results. If, however, he does not come forward, then the chances are harder for you to claim child support compensation through the courts. Your only other option would be to agree to somehow amicably agree with him and appeal to him to support you and the child. But in the meantime, while you're going through the process, just keep this in mind, that as long as you have evidence of your relationship, the courts here will issue the order to do paternity test. And as long as he wants to continue to stay in this country, then he will have to abide by the court's order. Otherwise, he will not be able to stay in the country legally, basically. And that's within the UAE. Obviously, if he leaves to a different country, then that country's laws will apply, and you'll have to kind of look at the process that applies in that particular jurisdiction.